Hey fellas, Onish here, and welcome back to With a Y, and I have a bit of a conundrum for you, because I could talk about digital circus theater discourse all the livelong day, but I told myself I wouldn't make a video on the same fandom 2 times in a row, even if it has been several days since my last video. And instead I decided to tackle a video that is, I don't know, equally of a conundrum. This is Grant Davis, aka Bricks Made Sample. He's a YouTuber you may have heard of if you're like into Lego stuff as it is, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't want anything I say in this video to take away from how much this dude seems to fucking rock. Like, he has done some ingenious stuff with specifically Lego pieces, and it makes complete sense like where he's coming from in some of the content that I've seen from him. But there was one video of his from the other day that didn't rub me the wrong way, but I think broke out of its targeted audience that just kind of put him on the chopping block. Before I show you that, I think I would like to show you some of the stuff he's actually made. Regardless of what I say in this video, you should check out like some of his stuff if you're into Lego, because he does like some crazy work. Like, you will learn something, I promise. He is a master Lego builder. Like, this dude is certified, and like his Lego dedication like definitely makes sense like when you think of that sort of thing. This is not the video that made me go, huh. This is like an actually good one from him, and I wanna give this guy a good first foot forward.
To remove a Lego piece that's completely surrounded by tiles. Lego brick separators are—
I feel like a lot of us in our childhood, our first reaction would have been teeth. Man, I brush this shit every day, I floss, I got my shit straight, or I used braces to make my shit straight, so I'm gonna bite that bitch out of there.
Are useless here because this lip prevents them from grabbing onto the stud. You can't—
If you use Legos or like have made a mistake when following the instructions, like, you've definitely found a moment where the official Lego remover just doesn't really work for you because of literally the lip, which is really important for it being able to remove most of the other pieces it would be used in. I use the Lego brick remover to open cans of soda these days.
Make a path to the piece by removing the surrounding tiles until you reach the center, but this is wildly inefficient. And
yeah, that's like just an inoptimal method. If Clavicular was into Legos, he'd be really against that shit. It's just unoptimal. Like, he wouldn't want you even looking in the direction of that method. The thing I like about Brick Made Sample is that he goes through the methods you've probably thought of if you're into the hobby enough. Like, I'm not the sort of guy that like makes custom Lego builds like I did when I was younger, because if I was, I probably would have gotten like decent at it. I was just always like just throwing shit onto shit for the sake of having shit. But this is a dude who thinks about the mechanics of how Legos actually collapse.
It is possible to remove the plate by placing a brick on it and slowly pulling up. Because the grip strength holding the plate in place is the same as the force trying to remove it, this only works 50% of the time.
Some people have said that you should just try and do it twice. If it's 50% of the time, then treat it like a coin toss and just keep doing it until it works. But he actually explains the math of why it wouldn't work. Math is the wrong word, but the reasoning is what I mean by that.
But a square brick only grips onto the stud at these 4 points.
See, I had never thought of that, because I'm dumb as hell. I'm like, no wonder that it didn't pick up that shit all the damn time. Less points of contact means less immediate pressure to actually pull it up. It's kind of a metaphor for the world as it currently exists. Jesus Christ, Brick Made Sample is teaching me about geopolitics as I fucking learn things about Legos.
While this Lego Technic piece makes contact around the entire stud, which is what allows it to pull up on the plate with way more force than it's being held down by, letting us easily remove the plate from this sea of tiles with 100% consistency.
I don't know if it's going to be 100% every time, but it does seem like the most efficient solution for this pretty common Lego mishap where it's like, damn, I can't get the Lego brick remover in that bitch. I remember as a kid, the Lego brick remover didn't fucking exist. And then learning that it did exist later in my life, I was like, wow, what a great quality of life upgrade for them to include this with most sets of a decent size. And then you'd still run into bits where like you have to, you know, pull out the old dentures to pull some shit out. But even before that existed, it's really interesting to think that, you know, people who do Legos regularly were thinking of things like this to actually solve a common problem a lot of people had. They were into Legos enough to actually run into it a bunch. Like, I am not like a Lego hardcore guy by any means. I like build sets as an adult, but I build sets. I don't make new builds. I'm not creative enough for that. And this is just like a genuine solution to some shit that was happening. Now, before we get into the bit that you could slander a guy over, I think it's important to remember that this is like a accredited Lego master builder, and that's why he's kind of dedicated to using Lego specific methods for pretty much everything he does. Like, I don't think he would recommend like just just get your fucking molars in there and then rip the bitch out. One, because that's bad for your teeth, but B, because it's bad for business. But this was the one that got on my For You page, and it kind of sucks that this was the video of the dude that exploded the most. Like, he's mostly a YouTuber. He just posts to TikTok for the short form buff that, like, is kind of necessary in this day and age of social media. One more demonstration of this guy's bona fides before we jump into it. I'm sorry I'm burying the lead on this.
This is one of the most annoying Lego pieces I've ever used. Although Lego worm gears are great at transferring power from one direction to another, when I recently used them on my Lego DVD screensaver machine,
The dude made a Lego DVD screensaver, and from what I can tell, it's like life size, or if it's not, then the fact that it bounces at all fucking rocks, man. I didn't watch the full video to see if it actually hits corners, but he uploads like once every half a year at most. Sometimes he takes longer because he's busy building Lego ideas. Unfortunately, this was the video he made that popped off, and it's the hardest one to relate to because we don't have the set of circumstance that he has.
this is so sad to see. There's no
That's a very, very strong intro to something about how someone does a Lego build. Given this is a guy who is known for making custom Lego builds, talking about a guy also making a custom Lego build.
need to be using anything non-Lego here. This
See, like, that just doesn't really hit with me because, I get the message of the Lego movie was that you shouldn't be casting your Lego collection in resin. You should be letting your creativity flourish and only using Legos as they were intended to be. But Legos are essentially arts and crafts. Lego is just an ecosystem that already exists prior to all this shit that you could do, like, with wider arts and crafts, and, like, mixing and matching might be taboo for some folk, especially for a dude in this guy's position.
This guy is trying to make a cobblestone street for his Lego city, and after he couldn't get these Lego nets to do what he wanted, he used a non-Lego fabric and 1x1 tiles to make this texture. But
I'm not gonna lie, I think if you're trying to get like a true cobblestone texture with all its ruggedness, like looking outside of Lego while still finding a way to weave it in where it's not visible is like incredibly creative. Like, yes, this looks like how cobblestone roads would be paved before the flat aesthetic of Minecraft, where the term cobblestone got popularized and people of my age and younger, is really fucking dope, man. Like, he did like the thing with the studs to give it some extra texture. Like, some of these are flat bricks, some of them have like the protruding circle out of it, but it's all uneven anyways, so cars can go over it and you can probably walk on it nicer without it just slamming the pressure on your foot. And this dude takes a bit of an issue with it because he used a non-Lego method to do it. And I'm not gonna lie, the method the guy used, pretty fucking funny.
texture. But do you see the problem with this? Of course a Lego net doesn't fit in between a tile and a plate. There's no space for it.
Yeah, there's no space for it between like the interlocking studs specifically. So the dude was like, let me find a material that's probably in my house that can do that. And to me, that is like just incredibly creative. It's like he just thought of a method using what he had instead of like making another trip to the Lego store to figure out some shit that would.
Lego recommends adding round studs in between the layers so that there's small gaps for the string to run through. I know
If you're committed to using only Lego product for a certain build you're doing, I genuinely do respect that as like a design constraint, if that's the craft you want to commit yourself to, because like, you know, sure, constraints on creativity are what motivates a lot of innovation in a lot of spaces. But like the dude faced the constraint was like, man, I do not want to buy like several hundred more studs just so I can like make the nylon net officially licensed by Lego fit through shit. Though I do respect Brickmade Sample's reasoning here.
run through. I know this works because it's the exact technique I used to make the flexible water on my Lego wave machine.
This dude made a flexible Lego wave machine. Like, whatever if you think this is Lego elitism or like puritanism, I think that's cool as fuck that he managed to make it work within purely Lego licensed products. But even still, like that is a feat on its own, and I respect that the dude was able to do it. I feel like that's a constraint you should be okay with putting on yourself if that's how you want to build a certain project. Like, you want to find a way to do it, like specifically within Lego licensed products. But to me, it's like, yeah, you can do basically anything in Minecraft. To me, it's like kind of analogous where if you want to do something in Minecraft, but you want to do it without any mods, you can physically create anything in that game. You can add circles, but imagine you want to create create a circle using only vanilla Minecraft and what's literally there at your fingertip. Mystic Cat's done a few things like that, and I've always thought it was cool as hell, like figuring out the process or having the process told to me, not figuring out. Someone telling me how they figured it out because I'm too stupid to do it. Like, I really respect that shit, but I don't think any of those guys would ever dunk on like somebody who wants to do it using like JavaScripting in order to figure out how to mod the thing they wanted Minecraft into Minecraft. And again, they're probably not officially sponsored. Now, the funniest bit is like what the dude who ended up making that cobblestone pattern actually used as a household item to get that look.
There's no need to be using nylon socks in your Lego builds. Lego nets work just fine.
It's like, maybe they fucking do, dude, but like, you're asking the dude to buy however many studs it takes to fucking cover the entirety of this road in order to officially use the Lego license stuff. And like, maybe using the Lego nylon nets would make the build more stable if the dude wanted to add texture as a part of his build. It's like, as a kid, for my birthday, I got like a Halo Mega Block set, and I just like didn't really see the difference between it and Legos because they were the same size and could kind of snap together, but Mega Blocks were of worse quality, or at least putting them together with Legos were of worse quality. So the cohesion of the build, I can understand like why you'd say, hey, stick with the Lego shit. But damn, man, them studs and the amounts that you're asking the dude to buy them to make the build happen, I don't know who made the build. Maybe he's also a Lego master builder and that this is like something he should have been taking into consideration. Still though, like, that's a lot. Like, it's like something you probably should change someone at home for. And I will say, like, people saying it's a non-issue, this comes across like a TikTok that was intended for a very specific like type of audience, the folk who, yeah, do try to use only Lego products to like build a build, and maybe it just exploded more than it should have because like if you see it out of context it feels a little ridiculous. I will never understand Lego elitism. No, you're not having fun the right way. You have to do it how I want you to. I don't think that's exactly what he was saying, but it's the impression you're gonna get if you don't know like what's happening here. Even still, this was the first video I watched from this dude, and I was like, okay, what's the guy all about? And so I went to his TikTok, and Jesus Christ, he does some ingenious fucking shit with Lego pieces only, and I was like, I can't hate too hard. I can't hate too hard. This one video aside, I genuinely would recommend Bricks Made Sample. Like, he does a ton of cool shit. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at with a Y. That email's in the description if you guys want to send me any video topics. Anyways, piss off.